What's up, YouTube? It's your boy. I just wanted to talk about Linux because I love Linux and I want more people to use Linux. And I think a lot of people are scared to use Linux, even though there's really nothing to be afraid of. I'll talk about it here, especially because Microsoft is just horrible. And so this is my little presentation. And I'll look like whiteface for this entire video because I decided to make it white. So sorry to all my crackers in the audience, but it's whatever. So yeah, switch to Linux. This is my 6-month perspective as a gamer tryhard college student with a part-time job. I started to use Linux in like August of last year when I bought a new PC because I didn't want to pay. I hate Microsoft and I don't want to pay $150 just to get Windows 11, which barely fucking works. So yeah. So I'll talk about here the why. Microsoft is terrible, bro. I've had my personal experiences with Microsoft. They deleted my account, which was like if I had an Xbox and I had like all my games on Microsoft and they just deleted my account, all my games would be gone. And so yeah, fuck Microsoft for that. You can see by this weird meme I found on like some weird corner of the internet where it's just a bunch of, you could pause and just read it. I'm not going to read it all out, but yeah, no, Windows 11 is kind of a disaster right now. You can see here, NVIDIA confirms that Windows 11 January update causes frame drops and artifacting. So, like, it's kind of just bottlenecking your own computer to be using Windows 11, but there's really no other, like, main alternative for PCs, which is, besides Linux, that, like, is more, like, consumer-friendly that people aren't scared of. Especially, like, this shit, like Copilot and Microsoft Edge. I bought a laptop at Best Buy and it obviously came with Windows 11 and immediately was just shoving Copilot and Microsoft Edge down my throat. And I just bought it to just use like Microsoft Excel and like Word for my computer science class. And you still got to go through like Copilot to even get to that. And I just think it's stupid. But the answer is not just to stay on, the answer is not just to stay on Windows 10. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, Windows 10, you may just love Windows 10, but it's not getting any more updates. It's kind of very security risk. Like, as soon as someone finds out, like, a crack for it, like, you might be fucked. And it's very dangerous. So I would at least, if you're on Windows 10 watching this, I would at least upgrade to Windows 11 if you're still like, fuck Linux. But, hear me out on this one. And this is a big point. You can use Linux. If you clicked on this video and you care a little bit about computers, you can use Linux. If you're not tech illiterate, like I think a grandmother or like a child probably can't use Linux. But if you just like, I think a 15-year-old could use Linux. Even like a 14-year-old could use Linux and figure it out, dude. And yeah, if you just even care like a little bit about computers, if like you're the type to like just be like scouring the internet to like find specific problems to fix on your computer, I think you can very much use Linux. And I think you'll find that a lot of the stuff is easier to do on Linux and easier to fix. It's more fun to tinker around with it. But yeah, so gamer performance enhancer uses a computer daily. Like, I think if you know enough about Windows or Mac, I think the transfer over is not as scary as it may seem. Can I go? Okay. You don't have to know anything to get started. Yup. They want you to think it's hard. This is what really pisses me off, bro. I'll see stupid shit like this, bro. Microsoft, Apple, and every other tech conglomerate does not want you to use Linux because it directly goes against their business, dude. Why do you think Microsoft and Apple work together so much? Aren't they competitors? No, they would rather just like have people use theirs or one of theirs where they can still sell you bullshit than Linux, because Linux is not tied to any company. It's just completely open, which is, for me personally, as like number one capitalism hater, I think it's dope that this shit exists and that people just contribute their time to not only just like make a good operating system, but to continue to support it and continue to innovate and add stuff that like rivals these companies. It's insane to me. But yeah, and then also dumbass Windows Mac OS normies. I see so many people so many like like entitled Windows users or whatever just shit on Linux, and it's like you've never even used Linux in your fucking life. The only way you know Linux is from this shit like this, bro. I've correctly labeled this Israeli propaganda because it kind of is Israeli propaganda, where this guy is installing a web browser and he has to go through 1,000 lines of code and everything. But it's really not like that. And I don't know why so many Windows users just attack Linux for some reason when, like, it's kind of, I feel like every Linux user, I mean, I could probably say this for certain, every Linux user has used either like Windows or Mac OS, but most likely not every Windows user has used Linux. And it really pisses me off when they like kind of continue to feel like their one operating system is superior when they haven't even tried anything else. Like, it's sad. So this is what installing a web browser is actually like, because people don't fucking post this. People just post the fucking Israeli propaganda meters, like the hacker man's installing a web browser. I guess is kind of similar. You are opening up the console or the command terminal, which, like, for me, I was already doing that on Windows, so it wasn't that scary. But, like, for instance, here, for Firefox, the best browser, it just came pre-installed. This is the browser I use for fucking everything. I love Firefox, and it just came with my distro. No Microsoft Edge bullshit, because I don't think anyone is fucking, like, praying, like, please, bro, I hope my computer comes with Microsoft Edge. No one's thinking that. And then if you really want Google Chrome, it's literally, I did it for this video. It's literally just one command in the console. You type in yay-s Google Chrome. Yay is a software that will just, like, grab the R packages from the Arch Linux, whatever. You don't even need to know all that. But you literally just type that in and then just type 2 twice and Y. And then it's installed on your computer. You can launch it. Like how I launched every program on Windows was I would just go on my bottom left of my computer and then click the little, like pretend it's like here. You would just click the Windows icon and you could just search for it there. It works exactly like that. Now, more fucking Israeli propaganda. When there's a negative article about MS doing something shady or stupid with Windows, these folks always come out of the woodwork to let everyone know it is only a matter of time. And it's some fucking Reddit meme. And Linux users trying to explain in 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020, and 2024 how the platform is only a short time away from being a widespread viable option. And frankly, this is just wrong. I don't know how else to say it. This is just fucking wrong. Steam has released, like, this happened in like 2017, 2018. They released their Steam Proton and has been updating it pretty consistently, pretty much allowing every single game on Steam to be playable on Linux. Now, it doesn't mean like every game, but like basically, like, the only game, I'll talk about it later on, but the only game that I got on Steam and I was unable to play was the new Skate game, like a couple months ago, and I haven't even heard anything about that game since. But yeah, every single game, like, I play like a lot of Overwatch. Overwatch works fantastic on Steam. Even Marvel Rivals, if you're a sick fuck, that works great, like, through Steam. A bunch of shit just works. More than ever before, people are adopting Linux, making the community even bigger and better. I mean, you could see this, right? Like, just unknown OS. I mean, it says Linux down here, but like, it's just going up. And Windows is kind of falling down. It's like the more people that are adopting this, the better it's going to be innovated because it has a larger audience, you know? And that doesn't even mean it's like bad right now. I think truly Linux is at a really good point right now where it's like it's usable for the average person, and that's what I want to make a point in this video, because I'm the average person, bro. I'm the average person. I just chose Linux. I fucking hate Microsoft, and I'm here sitting and telling a presentation about it. Yeah, and then don't let a Redditor named Ass Kicking Jedi dictate your life. Please let me do it instead, because, like, holy shit, bro, like, these guys are like a different fucking breed of people, bro. I don't even know. They live on the same earth as us. All right, here's my install recommendation. You could just buy a flash drive. I think I have the one I use right here. Okay, I don't. It's somewhere. I just got like a SanDisk 128 gigs one. You can get fucking any flash drive. It doesn't even have to be 128 gigs. That might even be overkill. And then, like, I used a software called Balena Etcher on Windows to flash, like, CatchyOS onto a flash drive. For me, that's what I would recommend. CatchyOS is fucking dope. It runs through Arch, so it has a lot of documentation. A lot of people online know what to do, and that's kind of what I value over something like Mint. Like Mint, for my, because I use AMD. I had like an AMD 9060 or 9070. I don't even fully know. It just did not work with my computer. And so if you want to use Mint, that's like the noob friendly option. Cool. But I think CatchyOS is really good, as in it's very beginner friendly, but also, you know, what's the fucking word? The sky is the ceiling or some shit. You can do a lot more later on. I'm just going to link a YouTube tutorial because I don't really feel like just telling you how to install CatchyOS right now. But yeah, so if my dumbass can figure it out, so can you. It's really simple. You just plug a flash drive into your already existing PC, or even just like a Mac, and then just like flash the ISO onto a drive and then just plug it into your computer. You can launch it. It'll do everything for you. Now, this is what you're actually giving up. Microsoft 365 software. You know, since for like college and stuff, I needed to use Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. Like they just forced me to, and so I tried to find an alternative on Linux. You can't really do that. You can't really, I mean, there's probably a way someone has fucking figured out on the darkest corner of the internet, but for me it was impossible to find like a working Excel desktop. I mean, there's like the online version, but my professor was very specific about having the like actual app, so I had to get a laptop for that. And also some of these games with intrusive anti-cheat, if you don't know what intrusive anti-cheat is, basically it runs at like with computers there's a thing called a kernel, right? And I might be wrong about this, I'm no computer expert, but the anti-cheat works where it's like basically scanning your entire computer and runs like through that. So intrusive games that have this, like Valorant, Fortnite, and then the new Skate, they just don't work because, you know, like they don't really make it for Linux in a sense, or their like anti-cheat just doesn't work. The games would run fine, anti-cheat just does not work with them, which kind of sucks. But a lot of these games, like I gave up Valorant, whatever, bro. I mean, I had like one knife on that game. I barely played that game. I just play CS2 now. And Fortnite kind of went to shit as soon as I like switched over, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah. And then even like if you really wanted to play like Fortnite or Skate, for example, you can also just like cloud stream it through Xbox, which is like, you know, speak of the fucking devil, you know. But yeah, cloud streaming exists if you really need to play Fortnite. But if you're like a pro Fortnite player, I probably wouldn't do this. But yeah, anything else, I'll link this also, ProtonDB. You can just search games and stuff and find what does and what does not work. Very helpful if you're like curious. If like if you're thinking about switching to Linux and you put in like your number one favorite game and it says it's not compatible, probably don't. But that was it for me, honestly. Everything else has been pretty like easy to work around. So there's that at least. This is what I noticed after switching. So performance is just significantly better. Like shit just runs really quick. Like I don't know if it's because I, you know, fully upgraded my computer, but there's a lot less just like bloat, you know. And I think that's like is a big difference with Linux, is that there's not a shit ton of just bloat software that you don't really care about. There's a lot more customization that isn't blocked out in an effort to make normies freak out. Like Microsoft really like tries to like hide a lot of like the advanced, I'll say like advanced settings behind submenus, which honestly just becomes annoying and having to like change around. So yeah, Linux just straight up allows that. You can probably just find it pretty easy. If you want to, like, you could change your fucking startup menu, you can change your whole desktop interface if you really want. I changed my little like icon in the bottom left. You know, there's just a lot of cool shit you can do. And then the interface is basically just a Windows 10 that I have, which, like, if you're a fucking Windows 10 like soy boy, you're probably like, oh, Windows 10, perfect. This is just what I want. And it's just it feels like just like a cleaner version. You know, there's not random shit. Like, I don't need to know the fucking weather. Why is that like a normal thing? I could go on my phone and look at the weather, bro, if I really cared. But like, am I always trying to see what degrees it is outside? Fuck no. Especially like ads and random news articles. Like, who needs this, bro? I don't need it. And so it basically has that, but just like more useful. It's perfect. Um, and this is what I learned after switching. I'd say update like every other day. Sudo pacman dash s capital SYU. Literally just run that command in. Like I do it like once a day now just to make sure. But yeah, very important. You want all your shit to be running good. You want all your shit to be updated because it might bite you in the ass at some point. I would also, if you switch, I would subscribe to the Arch newsletter, and so they'll like post something if there's like some specific issue or whatever. They'll immediately just post it on there, and you could figure out how to fix it or like what the cause is and stuff. Pretty good. And then how to download packages. There's like an Arch. I could pull it up. Nah, I don't want to pull it up. It's like you basically can just like search, instead of like downloading shit from websites with Arch, like where you would just click and then you get like the exe to install or whatever. You instead just find like you'd search like the Arch Linux wikis package menu. Like let's say for instance you want to install like Discord or whatever, you would just search Discord on there, and then you could find it. You could see how to update it. Etc. But for me, like, it's honestly easier to do it that way because you can just type in, instead of this command, you type in sudo pacman dash capital S space Discord, and that will just install it. You don't have to download a whole separate like exe to install it. Pretty simple. Again, that's just a thing you'll learn. I learned this pretty much like 3 days into switching. Like, it's not that bad. And then Flatpak is OP deadass. Flatpak is beautiful, bro. If it's not on the Arch Linux package list, it's probably on Flatpak. And Flatpak is basically a software that just makes it super easy to install new apps. They'll basically just do it for you. But yeah, pretty good. And I think, yeah, that's it for my little presentation. Feel free in the comment section if you want to ask me anything. I would be happy to answer it, but I thought I'd just make this video to prove to you that it's not as bad as it like really is, because it's really not that bad, bro. It's pretty fucking easy. So yeah, I think I'll be posting like also some tutorials on here just to make it easier for some people, especially like problems I've encountered that didn't have just like a nice YouTube video online to solve it. I'll just probably just post a video myself. So stay tuned for that, and you have a good one.